And we welcome you courtside here in San Bernardino, California, the Pierce Sports Center, as we get you set for our third match on day number 2 of our third NVA event of the 2022 season. It is the Dallas Tornadoes and Southern Exposure warming up, as they will each play for the first time this weekend. Both had byes on Saturday. This is a must-win for Southern Exposure, coming in at 1-3. The Dallas Tornadoes, they're 2-2 on the year. Your thoughts on this match, Nick?
Yeah, it's interesting because right now, when you look at the way this is going to unfold, these teams are both in the American Conference, different divisions. But Ramblers lead the division, the American Coastal Conference for the Matadors, and Southern Exposure also in that. Both only at 1 win right now, so both of those teams got to start tallying up 100%. Some wins. Alternatively, on the other side, when you look at the American Central Division, which is the Utah Stingers, Dallas Tornadoes, and the Colorado Kraken, there is a litany of 2-2, 2-3, 3-2. Those teams are all right on top of each other, so whoever wins that conference gets the automatic berth to the playoff weekend at event number 6. So this is critical for Dallas Tornadoes to maybe snake that win away from what seems like the obvious first seed in the Utah Stingers. But right behind them is the Colorado Kraken, who come into this weekend were the second-rated team in the American Conference. So a lot of interesting play going on there. So both of these teams desperately need this win for different reasons.
Well, for Southern Exposure, as Nick said, they are 1-3 on the year out of the American Coastal Division. They're not going to catch the first-place team. That dream is dead, as the Las Vegas Ramblers, who are 5-1 on the season, 4-1 on the season right now. Could be 5-1 after tomorrow. So chances of Southern Exposure catching Las Vegas, barring an incredible historic collapse, not happening. So Southern Exposure right now is trying to play to be one of those next 2 teams by the, we have 2 more events after this. By the time we get through these next 6 matches for Southern Exposure, as long as they're in the top 2 in their conference, doesn't matter if they're in first place in the division. Well, they will still get in.
For a little clarity, it's only the top seed in each conference or in each division
and then
that guarantees, and then the next 2
they just want to be one of the next 2,
which is why this is also important, because these 2 are actually going to be potentially competing for at-large seeds. So even though they're not in the same division,
you call them at-large, I call them wild cards. It's called just getting in. When that time of the year comes around in the middle of July. But again, an important match. First time these teams have played this season, and some interesting storylines today, because for Southern Exposure, they will have a brand new setter, as Mike Pelletier will make his debut, former national champion, in fact, most outstanding player of the 2012 national championship. He's been a pro. He's played over in other leagues, and this will be his NVA debut. But for Dallas, they're going to have some wrinkles of their own. And to tell you more about it, we're going to send it over to the sideline. Noah Chast. He's going to speak with Dallas Tornadoes head coach Ivan Andujar to get us set for this match.
Yeah, I'm here with Coach Ivan Andujar. And Ivan, 2 talented but maybe a little desperate teams at this point in the season. What are you expecting to see from your guys today?
A lot of scrappiness. I think it's going to be scrappy. We both need this game today. But I think Felix's leadership and a couple of new additions we made to the team should help us out today to get the W.
And that was my next question. I know there's a bit of a lineup change. What differences can we expect out there?
We should have some new setter. We have a new setter, so that should help our game out a lot. We have a new experienced libero. Veteran from the Puerto Rican League come over, and we'll be making a couple changes also with moving one of our outsides to the middle. So it's a couple new changes I think that are going to be beneficial for us, and should be fun. It should be a fun game today.
And what were the kind of factors into making that decision? What way are you trying to shift your team's style?
We need speed. Yeah, this game of volleyball today and day, you win with speed, and past couple weekends we've been playing a little bit slow, and I think it's time to speed it up. We got the athleticism, we got the guys to do it, so I think the speed is going to help us a lot.
Look forward to that speed. Good luck, Coach. Guys, send it back to you at the desk.
Oh, and a good interview there with Ivan Andujar, who also is a former Springfield College alum and All-American. So some changes for Southern Exposure. By the way, he's Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. If you don't know us by now, if you haven't been watching much this weekend or throughout the year.
Just haven't seen enough NVA volleyball yet, but here's an opportunity, and what a great match to make your appearance as a fan.
Well, He's Nick. I'm Ira. We talk. And today we're also going to talk about the Dallas Tornadoes. As Yvonne, Coach Andujar just mentioned, they have made some changes as well. One of the notable ones is a new setter, and they have added number 16, Francisco Arredondo, a youngster out of Des Moines, Iowa. He just finished his collegiate career at Grandview University. Well, why that's dynamic is because he already has a built-in relationship with their star, Felix Chapman. Chapman's going to move from the right side to the outside today.
Yes.
Already one of the most dynamic scorers in the NVA.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help Dallas quite a lot, having that connection.
Yeah, he's been on both pins this season. We've seen him kind of doing both sides of it all, right side, outside, depending on what they need. But what's worth noting is some of the absence of some of their AVP players. We'll get back to that in a second, though. We're going to take it over to sideline with Coach for Southern Exposure and Noah Chass. Noah, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. We're here with Southern Exposure Coach Tony Glessner. And Tony, I mean, it's kind of an overused phrase, but I don't think your team's record really reflects the talent you have. How do you find a way to pull out a win here?
Yeah, I think what we've been working on this season is just kind of figuring out our chemistry and how we need to get back to playing Southern Exposure ball and fun ball and going out and playing for each other. So I think we have the pieces. I don't think we don't have the pieces. I think now this is a weekend that we're going to try to put it all together. And we have a couple of new setters and Johnny Gomez back, and he's glue of our team. So we're excited to get out here and play with, I think, a little more of our full team this weekend.
And this is an electric team on the other side of the net. How do you stop or at least slow down Felix Chapman?
Yeah, we know Chapman is going to get his points, and he's a really good player. There's no stopping him. We have to find a way to slow him down. And we've seen him make errors, so we hope that this is maybe one of those days where he's going to make errors, but I think the team has to ride him to win this match, so we're looking to slow him down as much as we can, and that's it. Slow him down. That's all we got for him.
And is there a certain player or maybe aspect of your team's game that you need to see step up today to pull out a win?
Yeah, I think once our passing, and Johnny Gomez is a huge part of our passing, and he's back this weekend, so I think once he's here, our middles are a little more effective and involved, and I don't think we got our middles as involved in the match as we want, because I think our middles are a pretty big game changer for us. So taking control of the passing side so we can use our middles a little more.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much. Coach Tony Glessner of the Southern Exposure. Guys, we got a good one coming up ahead of us. I'm excited for it.
So are we, Noah. And, last match, if you missed it, my partner, the reason he's wearing black is he took a bath.
Yeah.
If you thought, hopefully we have the footage for this because that will go viral. I'll make sure it goes viral.
Appreciate your support.
I mean, you never
Had a
look
little
better.
shower from an unnamed coffee supplier.
Unnamed,
full
who
iced
should be a
venti.
sponsor of the NVA. By the way, those drinks are not cheap. I was the purchaser of those. I'm just very sad to see that it was wasted. But Nick is wearing black for that reason. He had to go to the backup color because he was coated in deliciousness.
Yeah.
And Nick, whoever's coffee that was, I will get to the bottom of it. I will find out, and I will make sure that person is reprimanded.
Yeah, no, you do that while you're at it. I'd like to have a mocha
investigative
frappuccino.
reporter.
Well, I guess we should talk about who's going to be on the court today, and I'll start with Southern Exposure again. This is as close to a must-win as they will ever have. This was a team that was a semifinalist last year, and if they don't get their act together this weekend, well, they could probably kiss their playoff hopes for this year. Probably goodbye
Yep.
early on in this season. You do not want to be going into Event 4 with a 1-5 ledger on the year. Tyler Hubbard-Neal will get the start on the outside wearing number 1. Eddie Mishikian will be the other outside today. They'll be joined on the right side. Chad Mercado is going to get the start, number 9. Now, we talked about Mike Pelletier, the 6'5", 2012 graduate of Springfield College in Massachusetts, number 3. He's just moved to Florida. That is one reason that he was able to sign after playing with other leagues for Southern Exposure. Mike Pelletier will set today. In the middle, joining him will be Evan McDonough, the 6'9" middle, also out of Orlando, wears number 19. Tim Lurich is back in the lineup, wears number 8. The libero today, and happy to see him back out there, Johnny Gomez, the George Mason graduate, one of the finest liberos in, pro volleyball in the United States, will anchor the defense for Southern Exposure. How about you tell us who's going to be on the Tornado side of the lineup?
Yeah, so a little bit of a change up here. We're used to seeing the outsides of we've seen quite a bit of Steven Roschitz. Unfortunately, he and Peter Knoll, the duo of the outsides that was here last event, they're also AVP beach partners. That means they're competing this weekend, so they won't be here. Felix Chapman will be outside. And in a little bit of a strategic shift, Sam Schuldenberg, who's been their stellar libero all season long, taking the outside 2 position this weekend so that they can bring in Victor Machito Cosme as their libero. So they're going to have a lot of passing consistency back there. Now in the middle, we're also going to see them going to Chique Oporum, a name that we're very familiar with seeing. Angel Rivera, not here once again, so they're going to be going to their other middle, Luis Vasquez, number 4. A little bit of a smaller presence, but a very, very athletic middle, so look to see what he can get done. And on the right side, Sean Smith, the guy that's been setting all season long for them, making a little adjustment. Last year, played some right side, played some outside. The man does it all, so not really out of his wheelhouse there. And as you mentioned earlier, Francisco Arredondo takes the setter. Definitely going to be relying on the connection. Felix Chapman is going to be a workhorse. This morning in our pre-game predictions, you and Matt both took exposure. I've got some ground to make up, and maybe I'm doubling down on the wrong pony here, but I believe that Felix Chapman, alongside of Machito as well as Schuldenberg, I think there's going to be enough in-system passing. I'm certainly hoping so based on my prediction that Felix Chapman's going to be able to get it done. So we'll have to see, but I think that you guys were right that exposure might feel like the safer bet, a lot more of an established system, and we'll have to see how it goes. Uchenna Ofoha notably not getting the start here in favor of McDonough, but you know that he is sitting there waiting for his chance. Someone that's played over in France, the Canadian by birth. Got a ton of talent, so that one's sitting in their back pocket. Feels like a massive ace they can pull out when needed.
Well, to me, and maybe you said safer bet, that's only because Southern Exposure has their backs against the wall today. To me, this is as close to a toss-up as we've had this entire weekend. You know, I took the Freedom in the first match. I think you and I were the ones who took Freedom, and Matt went with the Utah Stingers there. So I have cemented my lead in the standings, which we will discuss a little bit more in depth tomorrow morning.
Or not. You know, we can just leave that as an understood. I don't think the people at home all need to know how wrong I have been on some of these matches.
Well, you're not wrong. The teams just haven't listened to your pep talk in the morning before going out on the court. But this, in all seriousness, is as close to a toss-up as possible. Dallas has been playing some exceptional volleyball this year. You know, the only match where they were maybe out of things complete was the New Jersey match. This is a Southern Exposure squad that, you know, and I hate to say that you have emotions, but when you have a team that is underachieving, they are badly underachieving right now, you know things are probably not hunky-dory in that locker room. So it's a matter of how do they battle back from adversity, losing twice in the last event 3 weekends ago on Mother's Day weekend, and leave their mark on the court. Because you know how good this team really is. They just haven't demonstrated this year, Nick.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this one unfolds. Getting, you know, a new setter on the side of Tornadoes, moving Smith over to the side. It's just going to be exciting. And, you know, a lot of new faces on the side of Exposure, but none of them getting the start here. So it'll be an interesting one to see how this unfolds.
And we are underway. Mike Peltier serving first for Southern Exposure. And as Nick called, Chapman immediately getting his number called.
Big swing there. The double block of Mercado and McDonough not able to get the job done.
Well, I have just gloriously seen the clip that I missed the last match. I had the match off, so I went for a little drive and got some fresh air. Took a walk around UC Riverside, which is about 15 minutes away. And while I was gone, Nick took a bath, and I just saw the clip of it, and it's as glorious as it sounds, and as glorious as a Felix Chapman quick in the middle.
This is something that he's done all year and on even last year. When he gets put into a unique situation, they run him as a dynamic hitter. It doesn't matter if he's, in the middle of the court like that all of a sudden. They run him on a quick attack. And it's just basically turned him into a mid rotation. The other guys get out of the way, and they know the two-time NAIA MVP, get out of the way and let the man hit the ball.
Felix Chapman is on pace for 200 attacks in this match today, as Dallas has a quick 2-0 lead. They go to Smith, and he gets stuffed. Mercado and McDonough with the rejection for Southern Exposure as they get on the board.
The limited amount of offensive weapons is definitely the question mark here. I think the ball control is going to be exceptional for the Tornadoes, but they've got to figure out what the offensive load looks like if Chapman is unable to get the set.
There you see Atlanta, Georgia native Eddie Mashiki in the serve for Southern Exposure. Getting the start at outside. There's Chapman down the line, got the touch for the result. 3 kills and counting. All right, let's put a prediction. We've seen Chapman just destroy things already. How many kills will he finish with?
If Dallas Tornadoes goes past 3 sets, win or lose, he's got 30-plus points, I think. I think he's going to literally have to just carry this team.
I cannot, in the year plus that I've been with you guys in the NVA, the highest kill total that I remember for a single match is Ian Cap's 25 for New Jersey earlier this year. If there's been another result, it's not coming to mind at this moment. Maybe you guys have seen it with obviously longer tenures, but at this rate, Chapman might go for that today.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going on total points, so blocks and aces, not just kills here.
I'm just looking at kills. If you add the total points in, he's going to be in the 30 to 40 range at this rate. Chapman deep poke from the back row. And tooling the block is Chad Mercado getting involved. You know, Mercado's a guy, Lee's McRae graduate. He's a former Division II student athlete, but an Orlando, Florida-based player who has missed some time with the team. When he's out there, he gives them points. He's able to score for them. He's a consistent server.
He's
Good
been
weapon
around.
to have back.
What was that?
Good weapon for them to have back.
Yeah, definitely the case.
Smith, that's blocked back. Does it fall in? It does. As Tyler Hubbard-Neal teams with Tim Lurich for the rejection. 2 blocks for Southern Exposure with a smaller lineup in this rotation here with Madonna off the court.
Expect to see a quick attack to the back row here.
Sit off the court, I meant serving. Madonna with the pass here. They go to Tyler Hubbard-Neal, and Sean Smith gets redemption.
Redemption, thy name is Sean Smith. Wastes no time getting that one back after being blocked straight down twice.
Sean Smith, 6'2", Fort Worth, Texas native, but he played his collegiate ball right out here in the Inland Empire at Cal Baptist. Here's Mercado, and that's not going to come back. Mercado again off the high hands.
You see Schuldenberg living either every libero's worst nightmare or biggest dream, and that's seeing the front row rotation. Just depends who you ask for. An interesting fun one is it says on here that he went to Loyola Chicago. However, the difference is he wasn't there to play volleyball. In fact, he didn't even play on the Division I team there. He spent time just as a student, and for the last 3 years, he's basically been playing exclusively grass volleyball until he found out there was an opportunity to get involved with the Dallas Tornadoes.
It goes to show that, hey, you don't have to be a collegiate indoor player. If you are a player, you've played grass, you've played beach, and you're able to make that transition, the transition works. And we've seen it. We've seen it with guys like Ian Cap from New Jersey, a great example, was a setter in college at Kane University, but he's made his mark on the grass circuit nationally, made himself a lot of money by playing on the grass circuit. And been able to be a star on the pin here professionally in the NVA. So we'll see if somebody like a Sam Schuldenberg is able to make a similar transition. Played some great defense. So, and you see the passing there. So as Chapman now gets one out of the back row, kill number 4. Let's just keep track on the Chapman counter.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down to. Like I said, it really relies on Schuldenberg. That's him doing his job. Pass so well that you can set Felix Chapman wherever he is. That is how he gets involved offensively, by not getting set and passing perfect.
Here's Mashikian swinging away, and he gets his first kill of the match for Eddie. And a side out for Southern Exposure. We'll even this at 6 apiece. And we'll see Lurich, the Shorewood, Wisconsin native, 6'5", played his club volleyball at the University of Minnesota, Of course, a lot of these guys play collegiate club because there's so few Division I men's volleyball programs in the country. And Chapman able to tool the block. Kill number 5. I'm gonna write this down right now so I do not forget. Chapman is going to finish with 27 kills. That is my correct prediction for today after what I've seen so far.
High ball back, Mercado swings off the block there of Felix Chapman. Good aggressive swing and a nice set there by Pelletier to get him in a one-on-one opportunity.
It's gonna be interesting to see how Pelletier has had limited practices with Southern Exposure, how he's gonna be able to mesh with the team that quite frankly has been playing together, majority of this group, for over a year and change now, sometimes some of them longer than that, Nick. But he's so good. Again, Pelletier, we talked about his collegiate experience as he drops back to serve. 6'3" out of Burnt Hills, New York. Leaves this one short, but during his time at Springfield, 2012, when NCAA Division III first offered a national championship, Springfield won the inaugural national championship, and Pelletier was the most outstanding player of the tournament. He appeared actually in Sports Illustrated's Faces in the Crowd that year for his work. Here's Chapman with the poke, collected off the net by McDonough. Here's Mercado, and couldn't get the touch. And there is a lot of chatter going on about a touch, no touch.
Yeah,
net,
what they were
no
looking.
net.
Well, what they were looking for was that first move by Mushikian was deemed. It was deemed to be a block. It looked like an attack. So if that's a blocking move, it doesn't count as your first contact. If it's an attack that goes into the net, that is your first contact. So they were calling for 4 contacts there. Up ref Pat Bradley, we've discussed at length before, he and I, about what dictates a blocking move. So he's very confident with what he saw, made the call, and all the same, we saw the side of the coach there for the Tornado says, doesn't matter, we got the point, stop arguing, keep playing our game.
Patrick Bradley, the R1, Ty Boyd's our R2 for this match. And one of our line judges, Justin Baker, calls the ball in. It's an ace from Mashikian.
9 apiece. That's the second serve that's just dropped back there. So good bit of service pressure so far from Exposure.
Don't want to forget Rena Smith. She's the line judge on Southern Exposure's half of the court. That is stuffed down. Evan McDonough with rejection city.
That's a big block right there. Number 4, Luis Vasquez, coming in at 6'3". Welcome to the middle. McDonough says, this is my town. And Vasquez
return fire
back.
here by Vasquez.
Whew. Nice pass there from number 10, the new libero, Machito.
And Felix Chapman, his team, even now, 10-10 with Southern Exposure to serve. Shiki, and that's a tough one, will carry Gomez off the court. And Tyler Hubbard-Neal still gets a chance to swing at. Chapman from the back row will ping pong off of the sky.
That's
kill number 6.
Number 6. This just feels like how much can the Tornadoes contribute to getting gas in the Felix Chapman tank? If you're on the bench over there, you got power bars, you got protein shakes, you want to keep your boy going, because as long as his arm is live, so too are your chances to win this match.
I said to you in the pregame, as this may come over on 1, is it a, yes it is, it's a net violation, I'm sorry, it's a, yeah, it's a violation on the Tornadoes, easy for me to say, as they are over the tape. So this will be a side out for Southern Exposure. But I said to you in the pregame that Felix Chapman scares me more, he's scaring everywhere, scares me more on the right side than out of the outside. But I mean, quite frankly, I think he could attack from the bench and still cause damage.
Yeah.
Here's Sean Smith. Mashikian's ready for it. They go to Tyler and dug up by the Tornadoes. Here's Chapman again with a useful spot.
What?
Frame it, picture it, put it on your phone.
A brilliant recognition, a triple block in front of him, goes to zone 2. And there's a massive hole there with no right back defender home. Well done. Pelletier caught napping a little bit. Doesn't see that one coming.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. That's 7 kills for Chapman, and that serve will land in Riverside.
12 apiece.
Here's Chad Mercado.
One of the most aggressive servers in the league, hits a hybrid off this toss.
Purim, that is dug up by Gomez. Here's Mashikian swinging away, and he gets the kill.
Nice dig by Gomez. Stuck inside his body, his fists on his chest. Able to pop that one up and gets a very nice little touch there for Mercado to find Mushikian in the back row.
And that is left short. So side out back to Dallas, 13 apiece.
That's what I was talking about with the serve there from Mercado. The same toss, hits a short float, the serve before, and then goes back and cranks a hard-driven jump serve out of the same toss. Can be a very tricky situation for the serve-receive of the Tornadoes to handle.
And Sean Smith misses long.
Right now, the Dallas Tornadoes have got to start mitigating errors, though. They've got to make sure that the time, they have to give Chapman the ability to make the errors. The rest of the guys have to be there to mitigate those opportunities to just give away free points.
Tyler Hubbard-Neal. And back-to-back-to-back misses. Teams all trying to put the others back on their heels and not connecting. Here's Sam Schuldenberg. Good serve out of Schuldenberg. They leave it for Mercado down the line. Can't connect. And 15-14 for Dallas.
Nice little jump serve there from Schuldenberg. That's something that can often be lacking for liberos since they don't get a chance to serve. You know, you don't see that part of their game developed as well. So to see him come out and hitting a nice jump serve, it's a good developed sign for them.
2 good serves in a row for him. And that is misfired wide. So the largest lead since very early on. And it is the Tornadoes in front, 16-14. That takes us to our technical timeout. Game number 1 here in San Bernardino. Come back for more. Back here courtside after the technical timeout. Southern Exposure finds themselves in a 2-point hole. Sam Schuldenberg, who putting a nice pressure jump serve on Southern Exposure, will continue. Gomez with a good pass, and that allows Lewis to swing away, but Dallas is there for some D. Second chance for Southern Exposure, and O'Purim blocks. Third chance this time, O'Purim couldn't keep it in play. Tim Lewich gets the outcome.
I don't think there was any surprise anywhere there that Pelletier had his eyes set on giving Lurich the opportunity to put that one away. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Tim Lurich getting that one done on the third and final swing.
Here's Lurich to serve. They go to Smith, has to poke that one to keep it alive. Chance for Dallas, or I should say for Southern Exposure to capitalize, and they do, as that pressure forced the Tornadoes into the net. McDonough, credit him with the point.
The 2-point lead that took us into the technical timeout at 16-14, that lead has now diminished to 0, tied at 16 apiece.
Here's Chapman, destruction. That's kill, what, number 8 now for Chapman? It's going to get hard to keep track.
I think we're at 7.
No, I think it's 8 now. He got 7 last time on that back row blitz. Mercado, I think that's number 4 for him as he picks it up. I'll have to take a look at the stats because this is going to really test Nick and I's short-term memory.
Yeah.
And the number of concussions I've had and the coffee contusion that Nick's had.
Yeah, I've had a couple volleyball concussions myself. You know, sometimes
coffee contusion, but I didn't know you've had some head trauma yourself.
Yeah, I've took a swing back in December that took me out for a couple weeks. That was a fun little concussion I was dealing with. I've also taken a couple swings off the head from the likes of guys like Jair Santiago at practice, and let me tell you, that is not a good time. Sometimes you're proud when you can get your head over the net blocking, and that's not the time to be proud.
And that's return fire from Mercado. Yeah, I would not want to be on the receiving end of a Santiago dome blitz.
No, not a good time. Little ear box, you know, just scramble the brains just a bit.
I mean, nobody has been involved in this game and not gotten smashed a few times, but there's some individuals, Felix Chapman being one, that you don't want to be on the receiving end as he continues to chalk up kills. I think that's 9.
I mean, plain and simple.
It's so many.
This game is just watch Felix Chapman try to beat Southern Exposure by himself and everyone else contribute in any way you can. This is absurd to see.
Felix Chapman is that good. If you've never seen him play before, you are getting a treat. Nearly aces. Gomez lays out for that one. And this will be dumped over by Chad Mercado. Chance for Dallas. Chapman from the back row. Mercado, oh, he tracks it down and frees it over and poked back. Southern Exposure a chance for a point here. That's blocked back by Schuldenberg. This time, Hubbard Neal, and he gets the result. Huge effort for Southern Exposure, and the credit to Chad Mercado, laid out and did a scoop back onto the court. Just a thing of beauty from Mercado.
Oh man, that's a heartbreaker. There was a free ball that was coming over, and we saw Luis Vasquez trying to be aggressive there, trying to swat that one back, and instead ended up giving Exposure a free ball. I would have liked to have seen him just let it come over, take the free ball, reset, run your offense there.
If Chad Mercado has a career highlight tape, you would have saw one defensive gem that will certainly be on that track. And we are even at 19 apiece. Vasquez dug back, and then Mercado's into the net as he tried to shut down Schuldenberg.
Pelletier making some fantastic defensive stops. That's 2 digs in a row, giving his guys another chance.
So 1-point lead for Dallas. Mercado tries to tie it up. That's blocked back. Gomez waiting for it. This time, Hubbard Neal, and he cannot get the touch. And I believe, as we saw the indication already from the Southern Exposure bench, that they thought there was a touch, and it was overturned. Good piece of officiating there.
Coach Ivan Andujar thought he didn't see a touch at all. Goes aggressively for a challenge. Every guy on the court telling him aggressively, absolutely not. Big touch. Let's save that one.
Mercado with the serve. Sean Smith, and misses long. Smith can't believe it. And the point goes over to Southern Exposure. They now lead 21-20 for the first time late in this set. And we will see a substitution. Ben Simon will come in, the Texas State University product. 6'5" native of Katy, Texas, number 7 out there. He'll replace Sean Smith on the right side after the misfire. So a 1-point lead for Southern Exposure. Here's Mercado. Oh, blitz of a serve. Popped up for Chapman from the back row and poked up in the air. And great defense by Gomez to keep it alive. They go to Schuldenberg. Gomez leaps for it. Here's Hubbard Neal. And great defense this time by the Tornadoes libero. Wrong Texas team in my head. Here's Mercado swinging away and pulls Schuldenberg into the net as Mercado gets the kill. Credit to both sets of liberos. Johnny Gomez everywhere for Southern Exposure. And we haven't said his name yet, but Victor Cosme, stepping in for Schuldenberg, has done a fine job of being consistent back there, giving them a chance. But Dallas finds themselves in a 2-point hole. They will call a timeout. We're back here courtside. He's Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. Noah Chass, the third member of our crew and maybe the best looking. As these teams retake the court. Southern Exposure has turned what was earlier a 2-point deficit now into a 2-point lead. And Chad Mercado will serve away. Takes something off of this one. Chapman had to lay out. Schuldenberg to swing, and he gets a tool to block. Good piece of hitting by Sam.
Yeah, that's the crafty, reliable outside 2 position role that he's going to have to fill right there. A nice chip off the block. But credit to Felix Chapman laying out, punching that one, keeping it alive, getting a great pass in result there.
Over on 2. Sneaky, sneaky.
Chapman once again getting past some of his other teammates out of middle back to try and get that. You'd like to see the wing diggers there. Ben Simon as well as libero there, Cosme. You'd like to see both those guys collapsing and seeing that earlier, potentially an off blocker. Middle back defender should not ever be getting that that ball right there. So if you ever see that happening, that's because they made a phenomenal read, but it's still, in terms of defensive responsibility, off blocker and wing diggers, that is your job.
Some education, some England insights for you live here from the Inland Empire. Chance for Dallas to draw closer. Here's Chapman, kill number 10, if my math skills matter. And Dallas now with a chance to tie 23-22.
Well, I based my prediction assuming Chapman was going to put up about 10 points a game, and we're seeing it right here. He's on track.
He's just a superhuman. Here's Sam Schuldenberg. Good pass by Mishikin, but it might come over the joust. Oh, the setter, Pelletier, out joust the middle, Chike Operum. Huge point for Southern Exposure, and they will serve for the set.
Ooh, don't like this challenge personally. There's a challenge that Pelletier netted on that ball. Pelletier had a very disciplined move. The ball caught the net coming through. I think this is going to be a freebie. But we will see.
Well, as a reminder, you have 3 challenges to use in the first 4 sets. If you're right, you keep it. If you're wrong, you lose it. So we'll see if Dallas, in this play here, quite frankly, why not? You got 3 chances that you use them all in a 4-set match, 50-50. Use one here, see if you can maybe tie this up, because if they get this, we're even at 23 instead of 24-22.
I mean, that's a true point, right? In terms of where we're at in the game state, this is a smart one to see, because if you can steal this point back, I would say that's a pretty wise usage, but we'll have to see.
It's so close that, to me, it's worth the look. That's why we have the challenge.
Just had a little eye contact conversation there with Pelletier. He did not net. I didn't see one, had a pretty good vantage point. So that was all ball, and this is going to, I expect that this stays with Southern Exposure, giving them set point here in the first.
And I agree with you completely. I was watching that point the whole way. I did not see a net either, so we're all on the same page. But you never know. And so we got video. Video doesn't lie if it's conclusive. And if not, then, the Tornadoes lose a challenge, and they've lost nothing else, but they find themselves in a 2-point hole with the set on the line as the players sit here as they study the monitor. This is must-watch TV if you're the Dallas Tornadoes. Our R2 Ty Boyd having the conversation with the replay booth upstairs at the Pierce Sports Center. And it is confirmed there was no touch. Mike Peltier, Joust Master Flex, and Southern Exposure has set point, 2 of them, to try to take game 1.
Back into the action, Tim Lurich, a fantastically consistent server, but they are going to try to ice him with every bit that they can, and that means a timeout is called. Ira, let's get back into the action after a short break.
The boys in pink and black retake the court, and they will serve for the set. And there you see Tim Lurich. They go to Chapman. Oh, big swing, but this time off the chest and comes over. Chapman one more time. That's blocked back. Nobody knows where it is. Schuldenberg runs it down, and McDonough can't find the court. Oh, what a break for Dallas. All Sam Schuldenberg, the defense right there to preserve the play.
Now a serving substitution comes in. Number 11, Andres Quinones, brother to Gabo Quinones on the crosstown rival of the Texas Tyrants.
And this is to tie it at 24. They go back to McDonough, left-handed, ends it. And Southern Exposure, they had themselves a battle here in game number 1. They come out on top, 25-23, and they lead 1-0. Great match so far. I'm sure set 2 will be more the same. We'll see when we return to the Pierce Sports Center. Well, in set number 1, my math skills were right on the money. Felix Chapman had 10 kills in 17 swings without an error. He had 10 of the 12 kills for the Tornadoes. That right there is the problem, Nick. He cannot be the only option if they're going to win this match.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I think he's actually, and maybe he's making the argument that he is the only guy in the league that can do it.
Well, to tell us more about what we should look for in game number 2 and some other tidbits of information, here's Noah Chast with a report from the sideline.
Well, you guys are keeping your Felix Chapman kill count up, and that's exactly what the Tornadoes want. They seem to, with this version of their team, form it completely around him, moving the libero to outside, bringing in a second libero, and bringing in his setter from Grandview. So really tailoring it to his strengths and basically gambling to see if that'll work or not, and they were a few points shy in that first set. And on the Southern Exposure side, they're aware of that, and we're on the bench, I guess, trying to talk themselves down from overreacting or over-celebrating, and in my humble opinion, poking the bear in Felix Chapman with some of these blocks and kills.
Game number 2, Eddie Mishikian with the attack. Chapman, the windmill, and his first error. Dallas thinks there's a touch. And I think they're just going to let this one go on.
Yeah, not worth losing the challenge at 1-0. After losing one challenge already, down to just 2, not time to burn one here.
Here's O'Purum. McDonough got a piece of it to keep it alive, and then Gomez lays out. Oh, what a dig by Cosme. And Chapman nearly puts a hole in the chest of Johnny Gomez. Kill number 11. Here's Mercado, and that was put in a spot where he just couldn't make anything happen, and that is stuffed down by a combination of Vasquez and the setter Arredondo. So tough spot for Mercado to be left in. 2-1 lead here, however, for Dallas. Here's Mishikian, misfires long.
So long as the blocking can stay disciplined from the Tornadoes and avoid netting like they have several times, they're going to put themselves in a decent spot. But they've got to realize that their entire job here is not to get blocks, but to funnel and get block touches. They cannot chase going after high, overbearing blocking moves. That's not who they're going to be with this squad.
That's a great point by Nick, and that's an ace for O'Purum as Dallas gets in the ace column. Here's McDonough's second chance, and Schuldenberg laid out, but just too much firepower from the 6'9".
McDonough made his name known last year when Southern Exposure took on the Utah Stingers at a moment where Stingers felt absolutely unbeatable. McDonough made his appearance while the team did something similar to what the Tornadoes are doing now. They played Kyle D'Agostino as an outside and they ran Johnny Gomez, so giving themselves as much ball control as possible to run a very defensive and in-system style offense. So worked well for them there, but that was the first time we were introduced to the 6'9" behemoth that is Evan McDonough.
That's 12 kills for Chapman if you're keeping track at home. We know you're not because I'm doing it for you. And what a save, another tremendous effort defensively by Cosme. I don't know if they can get there, but they do! Oh, run down by Chapman and sent over by Schuldenberg. And after all that, Tyler Hubbard Neal with a missile. Great volleyball all around. You gotta love the defensive prowess here from Dallas. This move of having Schuldenberg as one defensive option, as a 0-2, a libero that can attack, and have Cosme do his thing out there, this is an entertaining style right now for Dallas. They are playing just, lights out defense that every other team might want to think about when they have matchup issues. And it's a little too tight for Simon. Can't do anything with it. Side out goes to Southern Exposure. They draw within 1.
To be a little critical, Hubbard Neal, smallest blocker, is in front of Felix Chapman. Go overhead. That's your game plan. Don't overthink it. I know it seems redundant, repetitive. Execute. Don't be too sweet and savvy as a setter. I know it feels against everything you've ever done in your life. Just set Chapman.
Simon gets the ball past the hands of Mercado. So a side out for Dallas. Chapman will serve.
The other reason I'm so stern on this point is row 1, when your outside hitter and right and your opposite are switched on the court, a lot of teams can struggle there. But Felix Chapman, someone that plays a ton of right side, he's almost at home right there. He's at your very best. So just something to keep an eye on to see what the team selects for other future options in that rotation.
Mercado can't keep it inside the antenna after the Tornadoes forced Orlando Southern Exposure into a whirl or hurt off of that serve.
That might as well be an ace, it feels like. He got so much pressure there in scramble mode, and that one never came back.
Gomez tried to bring it back and was able to get it at least close to the pin, but for Mercado, that's just a very difficult ball to swing at. Really not a lot of room to work with. As Chapman continues to put the pressure on from anywhere he is on the court. And another big serve narrowly missing.
That's a very, very narrow miss. And now the task of getting through Chad Mercado's serve onslaught could be a daunting task for the Dallas Tornadoes. But their serve reception thus far has been phenomenal, coming in, you know, only at a 55%. I thought it was going to be a bit higher on the side of Southern Exposure at a 68% after the first set. But I would say the Tornadoes are getting the passes they need to run the offense they want. And that's certainly not going to hurt them in the slightest. A little freebie as Chad Mercado leaves that one short in the net. 8-5 now for the service of number 4, Luis Vasquez.
Vasquez out of Eagle Pass, Texas, the server. Poked into the middle and run down by the Tornadoes, but can't be kept on the court, and a side that goes to Southern Exposure.
Once again, we've now seen that unfold several times this weekend. That one went over inside the pins, so a nice hustle effort to try and bring it back, but it has to go over the net outside of the antennas.
Here's Tyler Hubbard Neal. And he leaves it short. So here's Ben Simon, 6'5", out of Texas State University. And the lefty can't connect. Nine, 7, Tornadoes down a set. And yet another service error, this time Lurich.
Lurich spent his time in the last year playing in the second league over in the Bundesliga, which is in Germany. And he and his wife have now moved out to the West Coast as she took a coaching job at one of the universities out here.
Hubbard Neal is brought back. We have Mashikian. Chance here for Dallas. Chapman with a poke and a useful spot for a baker's dozen worth of kills. I mean, heck, at this rate, if they go 4 sets, Chapman might end up with 40 kills.
Yeah.
Might just break a world record while you're at it. Here's Schuldenberg. Mashikian with the misfire. However, there was a touch, and they catch it.
Chike Oporum, there was a quick check, seeing if anyone touched. Oporum confirmed that he in fact did. That'll prevent any challenge.
Did look like there was a little movement on that ball after Eddie swung through it. And his fans, he's got a few of them, will be in favor of that kill. Serving is Southern Exposure. Chapman, a poke tool of the block. My goodness. The amount of weapons in his arsenal.
Yeah, feels a little bit like cheater mode. Very reminiscent of guys like Jake Langlois in size and breadth of weapons that he has to utilize.
Operum with the serve after kill number 14. Mashikian this time, no touch, as he goes wide. And it's 13-8 now. Dallas beginning to pull away, and this will force Southern Exposure to use a timeout. We'll take a break, continue on here in San Bernardino. Well, we were talking about some interesting numbers. Nick had a number he wanted to spew out. We'll see if Chapman gets to this.
So Ryan Mather was the #1 point scorer in the Danish league last year. He had a career and league high that he scored 38 kills, 5 aces, and 2 blocks, scoring on 61% attack rate. So he totaled 44 points in one 5-setter. He almost won 2 sets by himself.
How many kills was it?
38.
38, as that is too long by Mercado. All right, Felix, that's your target.
That's the gauntlet that's been thrown down.
I mean, obviously, we've seen higher numbers at the collegiate level, but that's a completely different animal. Run down by Dallas. Here's Chapman swinging away, and a rare miss. Rivera.
A little bit of a miscommunication on what was going on there, whether that was a D-ball or if that was back set there for Vasquez. But, you know, living the chaos sometimes, I suppose, and getting it done. Dallas Tornadoes 16-9. They really, I mean, they were on the precipice there in the first one, so it's not like they just magically turned it on, but things are going their way right now, and they're being rewarded for it.
I misspoke. I said Rivera, Angel Rivera, their normal starting middle. That's Vasquez, as Tyler Hubbard-Neal gets the slug at 1. Luis Vasquez is the middle today, as Rivera is not with them this weekend. A number of teams are missing components this weekend, and again, it's next man up. Some teams have more complete rosters than others, but you got to play with who you have.
Yeah, that's the off-season part, right? You got to be able to build a roster that's going to be reliably available, as well as, you know, able to make sure you're covered on the court.
That one hit long, but there was a reason for Schuldenberg to run it down. Here's Chapman off balance. Southern Exposure tries to counter. This will be dumped over. The poke by Vasquez comes back. Another chance for the Tornadoes. Vasquez swinging away and eludes the defense of Southern Exposure. Dallas continues to mount its lead, 17-10.
Well, a good job there by the role players. We see Vasquez getting involved in. While it feels like Felix Chapman is going to be the offensive load bearer as we've seen thus far, it is critically important that you get the middle involved to an extent so that they are respected. Tim Lurich being able to just double commit block out to Felix Chapman is going to be an absolute problem for Chapman if he wants to continue scoring effectively. So you see that connection from Arredondo getting established in the middle. And Vasquez, as one of the shortest players in the front row for the Tornadoes, getting the job done. Ooh, that ball did nothing but go straight down and misses wide by a foot. Oh, yeah. Yes, and that's exactly what we're saying. He needs to be green light on every swing.
They go outside, and oh, look at the libero. Sam making defensive players worldwide proud.
Oh, what a great cut shot there from Schuldenberg. But again, this is why it's important to keep trying to find as many, varieties as possible in terms of who's there, because, that opens up no middle blocker. Schuldenberg can cut it, and now we see a 6-2 substitution. Derek Sullivan coming onto the court, as well as number 6, Jan Sullivan.
So Sullivan was their starting center for much of their semifinal run last season, and Sullivan in their first match of the year had a tremendous effort.
This is confusing. Sullivan and Sullivan.
You're messing with my mind, and messing with the court is Luis Vasquez, unleashing an ace.
Yeah, Ira, Jan Sullivan, is going to be the MVP of that first match of the season before they were reverse swept by the Ramblers, but he hasn't seen nearly as much playing time.
He wasn't here event 2.
And he wasn't even here event 2, so it's interesting to see how they're going to mix him into their lineup right now.
And that one is misfired long.
Yeah, he put up over 20 points against the Ramblers in that 5-set loss, if I remember correctly. I think it was 22 kills for himself. It's quite an impressive clip, so he's definitely someone that might be able to make some magic happen here.
Well, as I keep every box score, as O'Perham puts it away, that is the amount of homework that I do to compliment my wise partner here, Nick England. That first match, Jan Sullivan had 21 kills, but he did it on 45 attempts, so they were feeding him a heck of a lot. He was by far the most used Southern Exposure player in that match.
You'll notice he was blocked 3 times as well, and if you recall, certain number 20 statted 3 blocks during that match.
Yeah, that match, what was his name?
Talking about the arm sleeve?
Nick England?
The arm sleeve, yeah.
Yeah, he played in that match.
Blocks by the arm sleeve.
Yeah, Nick had 3 blocks in that match. That must be a misprint. I have to go back and take a look at the tape. As McDonough puts down another.
It's a good point. Too little, too late may be the case here, though. 20-14, a 6-point lead for the Tornadoes.
Hey, Noah, I guess Nick's got bragging rights on us because he's got more blocks in one match than we've had in our NVA playing career. Oh, we've never played. Nick does a little of everything, and McDonough on the free ball feasting. And Southern Exposure still down 5, but they're carving back a little bit.
Mounting a little bit of a rebound.
Well, Ira, you also have to look at it this way. You and I have never been blocked in the NBA.
This is true. I like how you look at the glass half full, as Dallas wants to make sure Southern Exposure does not have a comeback in their system. Timeout. Dallas will take a break. More to come here in San Bernardino. Back courtside here in San Bernardino, and the Dallas Tornadoes trying to hold on to this second set. They gotta win this one. Don't want to be down 2-0. Here's Lurich to serve. And an ace! Tim Lurich unleashes one. And Southern Exposure now within 4. And that is put away by Simon. Very difficult ball there to work with for the setter, Francisco Arredondo. Actually did almost a 360. The question is, I think he went under the net.
No, they're calling him on a back row attack infraction. I'm watching. I thought I saw it as well, but give me one moment.
And Nick, I think this is a bad challenge. I saw about a half a foot over that line.
Yeah, I'm getting a little quick replay here.
So they...
Yep, this is a bad challenge.
See, the problem is, and like you said, trusting your teammates. Felix Chapman, from his point of view, his perspective, thought there was no way he was over, convinced his coach to call the challenge. Unfortunately, he must not have had the best angle. I think they're going to lose this.
I would agree with you. I've got a still framed on my phone right now that it's hard to tell exactly, but I got a pretty good pause. We got some front row seats.
Yeah, I was staring right at it, and it looked like, you know, about that front part of the foot, maybe just the toes were clearly over.
That's Ben Simon.
And that's going to take them to 0-2. So that means they'll only have one more challenge remaining. And if they're going to win this set, which right now they're kind of handing away a lead and giving Exposure a big bit of momentum.
Southern Exposure gets this point. They're within 3. Yeah, it's been an interesting final 5 to 7 points here. By the way, the Chapman kill count is right now stalled at 14. So maybe your dream of 38 might be a little out of reach right now. But 14, you know, it's 14 more than any of us have had in a match today. Nick's had, what, 4 or 5 kills in a match this year? What's your high?
I don't know. I think, yeah, 4 or 5. I was much more of a passing guy. Passed at a 77% clip on 44 receptions.
Oh, we know you can pass.
Yeah,
that's half the battle.
I'm a lot more of like the way you see Sam Schuldenberg, certainly not to his level, but yep, there's a definitive shot right there. It's a little glitchy, but if you know where to look, you can see very definitively Ben was in fact over.
That is 120 frames per second, so that is as fine as you're going to see. Southern Exposure gets the point. Simon was indeed over the line. Can't really see from where I'm sitting because I'm looking right into the camera, but he took off with his toes on the tape, and that is a missed opportunity for Dallas. They are 0-2, by the way, on the challenges. And you know, one of our fans brought up in the first match of the day, it'd be interesting if you broke down the numbers. As Chapman unleashes a blitz.
God.
Straight to hell.
Woo. That's a massive swing.
Felix Chapman had his chest over the net.
That's a make-up for the challenge plea right there.
Unreal.
Yeah, that was his apology to the team.
That's kill 15. And that attack by McDonough sails long.
Chike Oporum pulls his hands and takes away the option for high hand swings. Full commit block dropped him, and that one sails long.
It's a heads-up play there by Chike.
It was very smart.
Gotta give him credit.
Cheeky move, you might say.
Cheeky move indeed. And McDonough with the left hand puts it down. So
he is a specimen. He just gets up there, they throw a ball. It almost feels like a 2 tempo, and then he just throws it down. Double sub now undone. Mercado returning to the court alongside of Pelletier, and the Sullivan duo heads back to the bench. (22-18), a 4-point lead.
So Pelletier to serve here. Not a great pass. See if Simon can work with it. He dumps it right to Gomez. And Eddie Mashikian with the winner.
What Eddie Mushikian lacks in size, he certainly makes up for with his hitting vocabulary. Number 2, able to do it all. Nice chisel off the right hand there of Number 16, Arredondo.
Yeah, certainly a fan of how Eddie plays the game, despite only being 5'11". Plays with a high volleyball IQ out there. That one is stuffed down, but Chapman is there after the dig by Cosme. Gomez with the jump over to Mercado, and he gets the spot. Wow, the hands of Johnny Gomez leaping. Thing of beauty there.
Massive cover as well to recycle.
And the stunning, I should say, the comeback here by Southern Exposure. They're within 2 now. They were down 7. Broken play, swinging away, and Chapman cannot connect. And Southern Exposure has whittled this to 1. No lead is safe.
Went from 20 to 13. It is now 1 point.
They're going to do the double sub. Quiones will come in to set as he will take the place of Arredondo. Simon's out. Sean Smith is back in. I know a Paul Smith.
And it looks like Smith actually has hands here. So they've put Quinones in at right side.
Interesting. Not a good pass. Schuldenberg able to save it for the second, and then nearly dumped down by Southern Exposure. They go to Mercado, deep corner, and that will fall in. Oh, both Schuldenberg and Cosme couldn't run it down. 22 all. Go figure.
Timeout call. This one has been let go in a catastrophic way.
Catastrophic collapse for the Tornadoes. We'll take a break. 3 points to win this one. We're back here in the Inland Empire, where it's a beautiful 74 degrees outside. Lovely day to be in this part of California. And it's even cooler here inside the Pierce Sports Center. But Southern Exposure is hot right now as they have rallied from 7 down. And oh, a monster stuff! McDonough! And he teams with his little friend Chad Mercado. Southern Exposure has erased a 7-point lead, and they now lead 23-22. And Peltier, he will serve here. Does Dallas have a fight back in them? Go to Chapman, and of course he finds an answer.
Right now, the name of the game is simple. You don't do anything other than put every one of your eggs in the Felix Chapman basket. He gets every single set from here on out. You ride or die by your man on the left.
I concur, young man, I concur. 23 all. They go to McDonough, and he misfires.
Wait, did we see the adjustment? Felix Chapman moved to the middle for a one-on-one block against McDonough there, moving Vasquez to the outside. An impromptu blocking switch that paid off brilliantly. That is the high IQ of Felix Chapman in full effect in real time.
Nick picks up that. Southern Exposure misfires, and Dallas with 2 in a row has a 24-23 lead. We're going to keep it here as we are going to now see Dallas, after all that, after the comeback bid by Southern Exposure, serving for the set.
That was certainly an impressive move. Those are the small nuances that you see throughout so many other sports, but volleyball, as it emerges and comes to the forefront and gets in front of our so many ardent fans, and many new ones as well. It's those little things that just make this sport so special. It's the experience, the discipline, and the players' willingness to make those game time adjustments. That is the veteran stuff that makes the difference. And Felix Chapman, once again, I cannot say it enough, you're trusting him with this match.
That part of the match is Nick's Nuances. Not sponsored yet, but
we have time.
Nick Nuances section of the broadcast. Southern Exposure trying to tie it up, and Chad Mercado with a changeup does just that, 24-all.
And you see Chapman back in the middle once again. They've made that more of a permanent blocking adjustment, so keep an eye. They're wanting to make sure that they're not being exposed with any lacking blocks.
Eddie Mashikin, your server. Chapman, oh, the throwdown. Kill number 17?
Nobody home there. Mercado didn't get off the ground. Felix Chapman, in complete bodily control, throws that one down, and as long as he didn't commit a penalty in terms of a net infraction, that was as free as a point gets.
That's just practice for Chapman. Set point number 2 for the Tornadoes. Gomez takes it. They go and reach out and stuff someone. Chapman, Simon, game, Tornadoes. And we are even one set apiece in overtime, 26-24. Dallas was tested, and they come out with a passing score. Game 3 coming up, 1-1 between Southern Exposure and Dallas Tornadoes coming up.
Well, Nick, you pointed out that Felix Chapman moved to the middle on his block at the end of that set to try and change things up. And I asked him, I said, what made you decide to do that? And he said, they're trying to go away from me, and if I move to the middle, they can't get away from me. So basically making sure this Southern Exposure team cannot avoid him, whether on the block or on the attack. He's making himself felt no matter what position technically he's playing. Nick, Ira, back to you.
Thanks, Noah, and for Felix Chapman, his ability to just see the game and read it demonstrates on top of his arsenal how valuable he is to this Dallas Tornadoes squad. Without him in the lineup, Dallas Tornadoes are a bottom team in the NVA, in my mind.
Well, there's an argument for that. I think that they've started adding a lot more pieces. I can certainly
so
guarantee,
have a lot of other teams.
Certainly guarantee without Peter Knoll and without, on the outside, seeing Steve Roshitz, I think that's a pretty easy statement to make. Those two both doing quite well, but Felix Chapman is certainly just an absolute X factor. And losing Angel Rivera as well as those two on the outside, that's losing three big weapons. Angel Rivera was the MVP middle blocker over in Puerto Rico in the 2022 season.
Last year, the Tornadoes did not make the postseason with Felix Chapman in the lineup. We are underway game number 3 here, and Luis Vasquez, he's able to get in the kill column. Prior to that, Chapman had 17 kills through 2 sets. He's accounted for 17 of the 24 attack points for this Dallas squad. Again, it's just mind-boggling with Chapman in the lineup. This Dallas team didn't scratch the playoffs last year.
It just speaks to the support not being there on the rest of the squad, and now they've added a lot of those pieces.
Oh my God! The earth is scorched! Felix is an arsonist!
That was ridiculous. If that doesn't fire him and the rest of the boys up, that's as big a swing as you're gonna ever hope to see.
I'm taking the rest of the match off. I don't need to see anything else. That is off of the block. I guess I have to keep doing my job. That is put away by Tim Lurich, and well, as dangerous as Chapman is, it's 1 point per swing, and Southern Exposure very much still in this after nearly taking a 2-0 lead, coming back from 7 down. Dallas lucky to survive, and that was I don't know if that was a mistake. I don't know what that was from Dallas, but Southern Exposure didn't see it coming.
Certainly didn't. It was a bit of a misconnection. I can't even tell if the middle there, if Vasquez even made contact. I don't know that he did, but
And here's Chapman to serve. Got as many kills as the number on his uniform, that's 18. But Southern Exposure gets Chad Mercado involved.
I like that set selection there by Pelletier, going back to the right side there to Mercado. Take advantage of the one-on-one against Schuldenberg. Quick to note also that McDonough has now been replaced by Uchenna Ofoha.
And that
sails that one long.
So here is Luis Vasquez. They allow Perham to, actually a correction, we've had a change in the middle. It's Uchenna Ofoha. And Ofoha getting involved. Schuldenberg there for it. Here's Chapman from the back row, and that's off of Ofoha's hands. Or
I think
something
that was
else.
off of, no, that was off of Pelletier's forehead.
Was it? Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Caught him, I think, pretty dead center there.
Well, I mean, to Mike's credit, it's nice to be able to get your head over the net. However, maybe that's not the best thing to do with Felix Chapman on the other side.
Certainly not.
Oh, big swing from Chad. Comes back, though. Gomez there for it. Second chance. Chad changes it up. And a diving save by Cosme. Felix with the swing, and he's ready for the overball. And that's run down by Simon, not the prettiest of plays. Mercado, third chance, just misses long. And Chad Mercado immediately did the TV screen with his fingers.
I don't blame him. I think that's in, and they should challenge.
That was close. We're watching the feed here. We have the YouTube feed open on my laptop. It's about 30 seconds behind, so I don't know if we're going to see it in time.
We're watching this. That ball was way in.
See it here. Yeah, that was in. That was in by a long shot. And Southern Exposure should have challenged. Listen to Chad there. He was right. That was in by 3 feet.
Yeah. But that's the game you play. You play with the call, and if you don't want to challenge it, then you forego that option. Ben Simon having a fantastic little service run here for himself. 7-3, a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and then Southern Exposure going to rue the day they didn't challenge that one, because instead of being 7-4 right now, it would be maybe 6-5, depending on what would have happened with his last serve. So.
Also, a quick shout out to Ben Simon in the point in contention here. There was a back set that basically treated him like he was front row. He free-balled it over with his hands, didn't net, but got under the net outside the antenna and ran back around the ref stand. Very disciplined play.
Sam Schuldenberg, liberos need love too.
Schuldenberg is having the match exactly how the Tornadoes needed him to play. Got to give credit where credit's due. He's not here to put away flashy kills, although he's had a couple himself, but he is here to pass the ball well. He's serving consistently, but most importantly, mitigating errors on his touches.
I like Schuldenberg's game. Obviously, he's a tremendous defensive player. When he's in the libero uniform, he always gets the job done, but his versatility is certainly entertaining.
You talked about last year how this team with Chapman missed out, and it's guys being added like Schuldenberg that were so critical, and they were missing from like those kinds of pieces last year. Him, Peter Knoll, they've had a boon of right sides that have been quite effective so far. Those are the kind of key peacemakers that they have really relied on.
They go here to Chapman as he tries to tip it off the block, but Felix off the mark there. And Southern Exposure within 2, 8-6. Again, had they challenged, this could be tied right now.
Pelletier showing how disciplined of a blocker he is.
As Ofoha will serve away. Schuldenberg, nice pass. It allows Operum to swing, and he nails it.
Well, he certainly did not add too much gas to that swing, but placement was perfect. And Langston Payne, Hubbard Neal not able to find the dig there. Notably, Langston Payne not here this weekend, I think at a family graduation, if I'm not mistaken. So, hopefully his absence not felt. But right now, Exposure trying to find some mojo.
Run down by Chad Mercado after Vasquez nearly blocked it down. Reached out and stuffed someone. Vasquez with the block as he teams with Francisco Arredondo.
Man, third time was a charm. They kept getting soft block resets, but the last one, there was nothing soft about that.
10-6, the lead pushed back to 4 after Southern Exposure keeps coming back. And sent back over by Felix. Kashikian swinging away again. Operum can't get there and is saved by our sponsor boards. I guess they're softer than they look like. As everybody scrambles. Fortunately, however, this time did not take out a camera. Yesterday, both cameras were taken out by our director.
None other, yeah. The man up top, Josh Nels.
Josh, who had a great effort yesterday in the Stunners match, is the director when he's not on the court. Well, all he did was dive into the cameras, nearly take them both out. And thank God Nick and I had pretty decent reflexes.
Yeah.
I reached out and grabbed the
main
camera. Nick saved the $22 million 10-foot replay camera
Did you
here.
hear what he just said in our ear?
We saved the league about $1 million with one reaction.
Josh in our ear just said, reach out and grab a camera.
Grab a camera. Hey, that's trademarked material, brother. I'll see you in court. Just kidding. Love you all. As Peltier serves away. Chapman looking for 19. Incredible angle if he could hit it, but it was not in. It was close, but close only counts, and horseshoes, hand grenades, and near rear-end collisions on
on the 405.
On the 405. I've had a couple of those. Near, very close, very close. That's why you have insurance. Chapman going long this time, and he's suddenly drawn a little cold.
I have no issue with that. Again, this entire game plan right here is let Felix Chapman swing at anything and everything, and you let him make the errors. You know they're going to happen. That's okay.
Vasquez getting involved.
Great option there. Vasquez is having a nice little match for himself in terms of offensive contribution. His size is still being felt a bit in terms of the blocking schemes that they're running, but offensively, you know, he's still finding the points here and there, and that's really very important right now.
Certainly undersized as a 6'3" middle, but he's got 4 kills, but not enough to shut down Tim Lurich there. Over ball, Tyler Hubbard-Neal tries to put it down. I believe that forces a double. It does from Dallas and a Southern Exposure side out. We'll tie this at 11-11 after Dallas had a 10-6 lead.
Didn't track what happened here exactly, to be honest. They called a double. But once again, trust that R1 up ref, Pat Bradley, making the right call, and play will resume. Tied at 11 though now. Southern Exposure answering back.
Here's Felix Chapman with more damage to the arena.
I think he's single-handedly making sure we're not able to come back here for event number 4, because he's going to put some holes in the floor.
We are liable for any damages Felix Chapman causes.
Like a coffee explosion over in the production
Well,
booth.
that wasn't Felix's fault,
No.
and that is, you know, that is a clip that if we can get a close-up, that's going on every social media outlet we have.
You know,
Nick
luckily,
taking a vanilla iced latte bath.
Luckily, as the director of social media,
Darn
I'm
it.
able to make sure that doesn't
Darn
happen.
it, he's got all the power. If only Ollie was here to clean up the mess. I don't know if your pup likes vanilla, though. As that will land on the line, an ace for Tim Lurich. Actually, I don't think dogs are allowed to have coffee. I think that's on the banned list, along with onions, garlic, and grapes, and also chocolate. We have a whole list at home of things the dog's not allowed to have.
Wow, fantastic
Vasquez not allowed to
save.
have sets like that as he puts it away and gives Dallas a tie now at 13-all.
Arredondo getting that one hand up as a back row setter. That's as good a move as it gets. Definitely rewards Vasquez for being the only option that will get set there. Great work from the Tornadoes, tying it up 13 apiece.
They go to Mercado, and that one will sail long. No touch. And the Tornadoes reclaim a 14-13 lead.
Bit of a mislocation there on the back set. Mercado trying to come inside to get behind that ball, unable to do so.
So Vasquez serves again. Bit of a floater, nearly fell in. And that is put down by Ofoha. So the Canadian able to tie this up. Here's Chad Mercado. And he goes short. That's run down by Cosme. Here's Chapman swinging away again. Nishikian was up for the task. And saved by Hubbard Neal. Schuldenberg. Take me down to Rejection City, where the balls are blocked and the points are gritty.
Looking for a call. There's not been calls all season long. The goal is to let the guys play. Mercado rewarded for his athleticism there.
What a block. And this one sent over. Peltier, sneaky. And Southern Exposure takes us to a technical timeout, 16-14, as they lead here in a game 3 where these teams are matched at 1 set apiece. More to come when we return. Back courtside, I'm Ira Thor. He's Nick England. No Chas is somewhere around snooping for the next story. As Southern Exposure has themselves a 2-point lead, game 3 of what I've declared a must-win for Southern Exposure. Dallas has a little bit more wiggle room early on this season, but of course they want the W as well, as this is left short. And the reason I say that, when you look at the standings, we talked about it a little bit in our open. The Ramblers in the American Coastal live standings update, they're 4-1. Southern Exposure is 1-3. The Matadors are in deep doo-doo at 1-5. The Stingers lead the American Central at 3-3. Kraken are 2-3. The Tornadoes even at 2-2. And we have 2 more regular season events after this. Father's Day weekend will be 2 more matches for every team. And then the second weekend in July, same deal, 4 more matches apiece. Southern Exposure wants to put themselves in the spot where they are. The Matadors are pretty much, barring, a late season run, they've played themselves out of a playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Kraken and the Tornadoes are very much still alive. Southern Exposure, you just got to beat one of those 2. They don't care who it is, Nick.
Nope, certainly doesn't matter. Just got to find a way.
Just get in. It's a new season once you do. And that is blocked back by Chapman on the Ofema attack. Chad Mercado, this one will find the court. What did I say? Nick's making fun of me. Mom, Nick's making fun of me.
Oh, that was good.
Ofoha will come out. We'll have a serving substitution for Southern Exposure. And we'll get a look at Sam Loricienti out of the University of Puerto Rico, Magalhães, and he's at a Naranjito, Puerto Rico, 6'3" pin. First time we've had a chance to see him. Felix Chapman. That one is kept in, and then the block by Francisco Arredondo. Side out for for Dallas, I should say. Substitution here, and serving now for the Tornadoes, Andres Quiones. Mercado swinging away. Did that stay in? It did not. Good effort by Felix to try to corral that attack.
Let's go. Lara Suinte over here. The pronunciation of a man who's never left Jersey.
Mom, Nick is making fun of the fact I'm from New Jersey. As Orlando will serve away here. Chapman, another dent on the court. I believe that's killed 20, but my math skills aren't good enough.
It's absurd because he's doing it with not insignificant blockers in front of him. A double block of Tim Lurich and Chad Mercado is very sizable, and he just makes it look like it's nothing.
And that will find the court. Chad Mercado sticks it in the back corner, and that puts Southern Exposure. They had to have that one, 20-18. Otherwise, we're even at 19 all, and this will change the complexion a little bit. Allow Eddie Mashikian to put some pressure on this serve. They go to Felix Chapman. And what can't he do? So many different angles he can hit at.
Yeah, that's a great recognition there, Hubbard Neal. Someone who is a fantastic blocker, but at some point, size just, you can't overcome that. So while he's taking away great space on the net, the size of Chapman is too much. Down now by 1, the green light for number 18 on the service line. See what he can get done.
I feel like you wanted to say something else as Chapman serves away. Tim Lurich, your server. And dances off the tape onto the Tornadoes side. Here's Schuldenberg swinging away.
Oh.
And wow, Schuldenberg able to squeeze that between Mercado and Uchenna Ofoha.
One of those things that you see happen. Oh, quick note here. Okay, Chike Opurum having a pulled hamstring potentially, it looks like. So that means that Quinones coming in as a middle.
Wow, good pickup by you. And I did not see the injury. He's being stretched out, either a hamstring or maybe it's cramps being stretched out on the sideline. Hubbard Neal swinging away, and that one will sail long.
Quick shout out to Panayota Stavro, our resident trainer.
And Ofoha with the kill, Southern Exposure. We were tied 21-21, so that puts the boys in pink and black in the lead. Chad Mercado will serve here, trying to take a 2-1 lead in this match.
And guys, I'm told Chike has a left calf cramp. That's what's being stretched out right now. So hopefully nothing serious and both sides can get back to being fully healthy.
Thanks for that report, Noah. As Chapman adds yet another kill, and the numbers are just too high for us to keep track of, so.
That was a full triple block commit on a back row hitter, and he still just breezes through that block. Now we see the Sullivan sub swap coming in. Derek Sullivan as well as Jan Sullivan. I don't know.
The law firm of Sullivan and Sullivan for all your volleyball cases.
And Nick, what's impressive about Chapman's production is on the exposure side, it's not like they're planning to let him have his. Their goal is to let everyone else eat and stop Chapman. And it's not working.
That tip is open. Space falls to the floor for Ofoha. 23-22. And
this
good
is
news, by the way,
delivering.
for the Tornadoes, as back to his feet is Chike Opurum. It did look like a cramp just by the way that they were pulling back the toes. So thank you for that report, Noah, and we'll see if Tyler Hubbard Neal is able to draw Southern Exposure a little closer. Over on 1, Eddie Mashikian eats.
Set point. They're going to have a couple opportunities to defend this one here. 24-22. Tyler Hubbard Neal, a fantastic server. See if I didn't just curse him here, but that's going to be a timeout taken.
So the Tornadoes will chat. We'll take a break. One more for Southern Exposure to take game 3. Back here courtside, Southern Exposure 1 point away from taking his third set and a 2-1 lead in the match. They are 1-3 on the year. They do not want to fall into a 1-4 cellar.
This is a tough spot to be in. You've got Schuldenberg front row as well as an out-of-position Quinones alongside their setter with Arredondo. So Felix Chapman's going to have to swing out of the back row. Over
Chapman
the shoulder.
Swinging away, ping pong, and it'll be sent over. No carry called. Another chance. Chapman again. Reach out and stuff someone. Shut the door, Uchenna Ofoha. And we, unless there is a challenge, will go to game 4 with a 25-22 win for Southern Exposure. Do they challenge it?
There's nothing to challenge. Everyone's looking for a lift on an open hand second contact. There was no sustained contact there. This is not any, Dallas Tornadoes needs to take their energy to their side, and this is a good call, a good no call. I don't see anything here.
I don't think you can challenge a lift. That is a judgment call by the officials, and that is indeed the result here in game 3. A giant stuff ends it, and Southern Exposure has a 2-1 lead. As we go to game 4, we'll see if Felix Chapman and company can send this to a 5th. Southern Exposure, well, they're in front, more to come. Back here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, Felix Chapman has 22 kills through 3 sets. He's going to need quite a bit more because Dallas has not been able to find the way to score in the big moments. Southern Exposure with a 25-22 win in game 3. And they lead this match 2-1. We're going to send it over to our third man on the sideline, Noah Chess, with some tidbits.
Yeah, guys, you saw the Tornadoes kind of complaining about a lot of calls, doubles, carries, things that aren't typically called here in the NVA. And Coach Yvonne told his team, you know, don't worry about that. Get your aces, get your blocks, get your kills. But let me worry about complaining to the refs. So that's kind of a good and a bad message, depending on how you see it. But basically telling his team to stop focusing on that and focus on what you do on the court, not what our officials are doing.
I think that's really wise input, and you like to see that from the leadership running a team. Definitely got to be the message. You cannot control it.
Don't see any changes for Southern Exposure. Simon back out there again for Dallas here in game 4 as Chad Mercado starts things off. We really have talked about Felix Chapman, and justly so. However, don't sleep on Chad Mercado. His contributions, 13 kills now for him on 28 swings. Having himself a day. That is a team high. Chapman 4 kills away from an NVA season high and maybe an all-time high in kills. We'll see if he continues to eat. O'Perham swinging away. Oh, laying out for that one, Johnny Gomez. And Mercado with a blitz.
Mercado answering the call brilliantly right now. That's something they've been missing, is just a big part of this offense for Exposure all season long. Doing a great job right now, contributing reliably and efficiently.
Chad Mercado is just so strong, and you see what he's able to do. Sneaky play here by Dallas, as you see their center Francisco Arredondo catching Southern Exposure napping. And that gives Dallas its first point here in game 4. Deep corner, oh, misfiring. I like Chique's attempt there. He saw that the back corner was vacated. Why not? Go for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. He kind of serves those balls a little high, but he's so good about finding that back line that he definitely catches a lot of serve receives, guessing and what they need to be doing.
Here's Eddie Mishikian with the serve. Chapman swinging away. Southern Exposure was there for it, and Hubbard Neal to the attack. Chapman again. That one's not coming back. Down the line, kill number 23.
If at first he doesn't succeed, set him again.
I mean, I would just keep serving him every single point. Like, literally no serves any sets to anybody else at this point.
Yeah.
Let Felix have 100 attacks today. Hubbard Neal down the line, can't connect.
The big
and
question.
The Tornadoes tied at 3.
The big question for me is going to be, after a workhorse load like this, what does tomorrow look like when he's got to come back and do it again?
Yeah, this is one of the situations where you don't have a day in between. Chad Mercado looking for options. Dallas is waiting for it. And this time, Chapman gets stuffed, I believe, for the first time today. Hubbard Neal and Mercado, and Lurich getting involved. As Tim will go back to serve. I've been informed that actually second time Chapman got blocked, as he was rejected to end the third game. Short-term memory loss.
Is that associated with getting up there in age, or, you know?
I blame the time zone change.
Oh, okay. That'll work for me. I'll let that one.
And
I'll
there's
let that
got
go.
to be a medically diagnosed reason here. Mercado's going to dump this over. Cosme, he'll feed Chapman. It's not supposed to be this easy, folks. Like, no human being should do that without trying.
This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever had the pleasure of watching. It's just automatic.
Felix Chapman, that's 24 kills. Ian Cap, if you're watching, your single season NVA record is in peril. As that one will be poked long. Chad Mercado tried to poke it and preserve this rally, but Dallas has themselves a 6-4 lead, and they've scored 5 of the last 6 points. See, I can remember what happens in the same set.
Oh no, you're doing great in like the right now type of
I'm living
memory.
in the moment there, Noah Chast.
That's what we like about you.
Live in the now, because there might not be tomorrow. Chad Mercado. That one is collected by Simon. Here's Chapman again, looking where his feet are. And Chad Mercado bombs away.
Mercado with a heads-up play there to recognize that was a bit mishandled coming out of the hands of Pelletier, but he takes advantage of the small block of Schuldenberg. Great quick swing there.
So Southern Exposure within 1, and that one's left short.
Mercado wants that one back for sure, vocalizing his displeasure with that missed serve.
Here is Vasquez to serve. Has blocked back. This time it'll be Mercado swinging away and can't connect.
Mercado gets right to that 3-meter line, does a nice job of not going over, but unfortunately not able to execute on the swing. 8-5, little 3-point run putting together for the Tornadoes.
Tyler Hubbard-Neal. No.
I want to give a little shout out to Ben Simon. We saw him event number 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been last season. Not someone that's been called on too much for the Tornadoes, but I think he's doing a nice job of making some blocking adjustments. He's gotten some off-blocker digs, and again, he's being a role player. They don't need him to carry a heavy workload, but he's been also ripping from the service line. So doing a nice bit, just kind of chipping in what's required of him here on this squad today.
And Ivan Andujar was kind of harping with him in the first set not to do too much on his block. He was reaching a bit, getting told, and he was telling him what you were saying they need to do. Just take away his zone, let your defense funnel in the rest.
Hubbard-Neal, the serve here. They go to Simon, the lefty, connects for the kill.
Well, there he is doing just a little bit more, a nice high line swing, ripping into that angle between zones 5 and 6. A brilliant swing from the lefty, number 7, Ben Simon.
And a reverse broadcaster jinx, I think, right there.
Yeah. We like to call that fortuitous commenting.
Just don't talk about no-hitters. As that was Eddie Meshikian misfiring.
Guys, this is what good blocking adjustments looks like when it comes to life. They're doing a nice job of closing up the angle, and they're forcing the Southern Exposure outside to try and find a swing that they don't want. 5-point lead working out brilliantly. Let's see how this unfolds after we're right back from this timeout.
Back here from timeout, Simon, your server. Southern Exposure down by 5. And Mercado, he collects kill number 14. And it'll send Ofoha back to serve. Southern Exposure has already whittled themselves back from big deficits. Game number 2, very easily this match could be over, as they were down 7, but were able to have an 8-point turnaround, actually took the lead before Dallas rallied late to win 26-24. Over on 2 this time, red by Southern Exposure. And Meshikian, his attack forced Dallas into the net. Violation on Arredondo.
No, that was a net violation on Eddie Mushikian.
Really?
Yeah. He followed through on his swing. Excellent call. Mushikian was verbally not happy with it, but a great call there. Arredondo had a very well-disciplined block to take away exactly what he needed.
Than I did, because it looked as if Arredondo got pulled into the tape, so you got a different vantage point and a much better angle. And Sam Schuldenberg, serving for Dallas. Who touched it last?
It was in. It was in. He blocked it in.
That landed on the court.
Yeah, well inside the sideline. It was a brilliant move, doing a little...
All right, I'm standing up for the rest of the match because Nick is seeing things that I'm not seeing sitting behind a camera. So, all right, let's see if this is like standing up. Hey,
everyone at home hearing exactly how hard it is for you to get up.
Don't hurt yourself. We need you.
Listen, I did a hike in Sedona, and as Matt Prosser said, you will feel it 2 days later, and man, he was right. As that is planted by Operum.
Great job coming back, off that calf cramp we saw there. A nice cut back over the shoulder. And once again, Arredondo finding the middles and getting them engaged and active continuously throughout this match.
I would highly recommend not to do a table shot right now.
Little court reversal to Mushikian.
They go to Chapman. That will be kill number 25. And what's notable about that, not only is that a season high matching in the NVA, that is matching what Chapman did in his last 2 matches over Mother's Day weekend when he had 11 kills in a 3-0 win over the Matadors and then 14 in a 3-0 loss to the Tornadoes, to the Freedom, I should say. And a misconnection there between Peltier and Lurich.
15-8. The Dallas Tornadoes storm rages on, yeah. But we saw a similar lead, 7 points there in the second set that they barely were able to come back and to hold on to there.
And here's Chike Operum.
Doing a nice job of creating some service pressure.
They go to Lurich, and Schuldenberg just cannot run out of real estate there.
Man, his first step is so quick and so good, though. He sees that off the block. Just a great read from him, but an even better swing from the side of Southern Exposure. Trying to generate a little bit of momentum and energy here, get some things going back their way.
They go to Chapman in the middle this time. Run down by Gomez. Mercado. And that is into the antenna, so another Dallas Tornado point. 16-9.
Right there, again, you see it. Short serve, Chapman takes it with his hands, goes for a middle route, running a quick one, resets his pins, goes to a middle blocking position, moving Vasquez to the left, holding Arredondo on the right, and then makes the blocking move back to the left. It's just so much quick adaptation from him and the rest of the squad. It's brilliant to see.
And that forces the Exposure set all the way to the pin because they recognize where he is on the block.
And it's an ace here for Dallas as that lands on the line. And it's called in. Oh, it's overturned by our lead official. That was called in by Justin Baker, the line judge, overturned by Patrick Bradley.
So all he's indicating on that baseline is that it's not longer than the end baseline. He's not judging it whether it's in or out on the side.
Well, that was definitely not in there, as that will go to Southern Exposure.
That's the, because we have the 2 corner judges, they're judging whether it's in on their depth or not necessarily in the court or not if that's not on their sideline.
Chapman swinging away. This one's going to land for the first time ever nearly in the upper deck of this arena. Chapman, 26 kills. That is, according to what we have, potentially an all-time NVA record.
Yeah, very well could be.
It's definitely a season high.
You asked me my guess. I said if it goes more than 3, I said he gets 30 points. So we're very well on track for that right now.
He's at 26 points and kills, has not had a block. Oh! You know who does have a block? Simon and Vasquez, a double stuff.
That is an excellent read. Ben Simon drops both hands to protect the line and takes that away from Hubbard Neal. What a move.
And after that previous Chapman kill, Ivana Duhar told me, if the ball takes us to the parking lot, we're going to set him in the parking lot.
How about set that man? Another big swing by Uchenna Ofoha.
Former teammate of Brandon Rattray. Both of them touting a lot of international experience, definitely a veteran over the side on Southern Exposure, someone they would like to continue to exploit offensively.
We'll see if Southern Exposure has another late rally. They're up or down by 6. Simon will take this one. Behind Tyler Hubbard-Neal, nice adjustment. Chapman with the dig. Chapman swings again, just dirty.
Digs the ball at 14 foot, recognizes the angle that's open on the block, step close from the back row, and a massive swing for number 18.
27 kills and counting.
Sullivan make their appearance once again. Derek and Jan.
Now, can we have Felix Chapman being the man of the match regardless of the final outcome today? We might have to talk about that. He's putting up ungodly numbers here. That is blocked back. Simon
throws that left hand discipline right there. Man.
And Dallas making sure Southern Exposure doesn't have a comeback bid. This is going to go to 5.
Well, 20-13 was where we saw the comeback last time. We're at 20-12. So
it's got a different feeling though this time, Nick. That's going to go high into the air. Johnny Gomez is there, and Sullivan's going to dump this over. They go this time to Chike. Sullivan with the dig, and Sullivan with the attack, sent back, and will fall in by Chike Opurum.
Chike has always been a middle that is definitely not as overbearing as guys like your Nick Wests and Shane Beamers, guys like that. But his knowledge of where to place the ball, whether it's on that deep float serve, it's on his tips, his blocking moves, they're just always the right thing at the right time. On 2, sends that one over. A couple little touches, but it just falls in between 5 on-looking Exposure members.
Well, Nick, and I can tell you his intelligence helping him out because that calf cramp is still bothering him. When I spoke to him on the bench, he said it's still, he feels a little tight. He's not trying to do too much. That's maybe why some of his jumps are a little more conservative. And he said he actually thinks he may have pulled it or hurt it when he dove into these boundaries right here towards our decks. So that's still affecting him, but like you said, that smart volleyball IQ making the right plays for him.
For him to stay on the ground right now as much as possible. He's big enough where you can just swat at it and find those campfire shots.
Yeah. Great insight from Noah as always. Glad to have you back here. We were a little empty on the sideline during event 2.
We missed you.
Happy to be back, and I'll be here the rest of the events along the way.
Oh, music to my ears. Unfortunately, that missed serve is not quite as beautiful on the eyes.
That one sails long, and Tyler Hubbard-Neal waiting for it. For Southern Exposure at this point, it's just about building a little momentum towards the end of this set, giving themselves a little fire as they head to game 5. They do not want to fall to 1-4 on the season. They go to Simon. That is blocked back. It will fall in. Eddie Mashikian and Uchenna Ofoha.
Good double block there. Simon hoping for a little help as it actually deflected off his shoulder there. So gave the block or that ball a little more time for the cover, but none to come to fruition. So nicely done by Exposure.
And that's left short.
A quick preview of what's to come. Last match of the day will be live in 1 hour at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be the Chicago Untouchables and the Seattle Sasquatch. Both teams currently winless, so that one will finally get one of those teams a little bit of momentum heading towards a potential attempt at a late season run to grab one of those playoff spots.
Chicago Untouchables have been in so many matches this year. It's only fitting that they have a shot to get in the W column today, but for Seattle, be a historic day for them if they can get the job done. They have not won as a member of the NVA yet. Their counterparts, the Colorado Kraken, they're 2-3. They're, well, depending on the outcome of this, still in the lead in the American Conference for one of the playoff bids. Sam Schuldenberg is able to tool the block.
A little quick note as from the blocking side. Sometimes you see the shorter blockers that they don't quite put enough on it. they get kind of manhandled and they're getting blocked a lot regularly. But someone that swings deep, gets a high point of contact, and really swings aggressively like Schuldenberg's been doing all match, it can really mess with the blockers who are used to seeing the ball come from a higher point of contact, and they're too high on the block. So he's been doing a great job of managing that, and his serving pressure has been unrelenting as well.
Unrelenting is Chiquio Perham as he burns Tyler Hubbard-Neal, and this gives Dallas 9 set points, 24-15.
That's going to be tough to mess up.
Well, talking about Schuldenberg's workload, he's hitting better than 500 on the attack line today. His serve, however, here sails long, so second set point.
What I love to see, though, Schuldenberg on 15 attempts at the end of the third set, passing at a 73% clip. That is exactly what they needed from him.
Those are dynamic numbers for anybody, especially somebody in the 0-2 spot. They go to Chapman, a little change in direction there, but he was early for it. Hubbard-Neal swinging away. They go to Simon to end this set. No, we play on. Perham, and it's Chapman. That one comes back, and Chapman ends it on the overball. Great run down by Johnny Gomez, but Chapman just too much. That's his 28th kill, and Dallas takes game 4, 25-16. We head to a fifth. Johnny Gomez, Sean Smith will do the coin flip. We'll come back for game number 5. Somebody gonna win this great match today in our third effort of the day. Well, Game 5 is upon us, and to get us going, we're going to send it to Noah. He's on the sideline. He'll have an update.
I mean, Ira, do we expect anything less? Yesterday, our match of the day, Tyrants and Freedom, we knew was going to be a good one, went to 5. Said the same thing about this match today, and here we are. And the way these teams are performing kind of reflects, their records. They're a lot of talented, explosive teams that maybe either allow big leads or blow big leads, and it's certainly going to be a battle to the finish. And just watching Felix Chapman do what he does on this team, to me and any NBA fan, it sort of reminds me of the Lob City Clippers, when just you toss it up to Blake Griffin or DeAndre Jordan, and they will throw it down no matter where it is, except Felix Chapman is both DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin in the situation. So I'm sure the Tornadoes will keep lobbing it up and hope he can finish it and bring him a win.
The question is, can Felix Chapman jump over a Hyundai like Blake Griffin did? We'll have to find out after this match ends, as Southern Exposure able to jump on the board first, 1-0 here in game number 5. And, in our pregame show today, I thought this would be the 1A of the day. I thought that Team Freedom, New Jersey Freedom against the Utah Stingers could potentially be the match today, but it, quite frankly, ended up being a dud because the Freedom just obliterated Utah today, which I didn't see coming. I don't think most people did. New Jersey moved to 6-0 on the year. Utah's 3-3. So this ended up being, in a lot of ways, not only our most intriguing match because of possible long-term playoff implications, this one's going 5, and it's anybody's match. Trying to go back to see who picked what here. So me and Matt took Southern Exposure. Dallas was selected by Nick. So if the Tornadoes win this, Nick's chances of finishing first in the predictions game,
increasing slightly.
Salvage here. And it's 3-0, however, as number 3, Pelletier, will serve. Gotta feed Chapman here, and he pays off the dividend.
2 narrow misses. He's definitely ready to keep swinging. That gives him kill number 29 on 64 attempts. He has been set more than the rest of his team combined.
Tim Lurich gets the back line. And a 4-1 lead for Southern Exposure in a game to 15. If Southern Exposure wins this match, both teams are 2-3, halfway through the NVA regular season schedule. Here's Eddie Mashikian. Elevates Chapman, that's blocked back. They go back to Felix, and he misfires short. You wonder at some point, are there tired legs? Even for Superman.
Yeah, it would be an unfortunate end given the performance we've seen, but it's only as good as you see it through.
So a 5-1 lead as Southern Exposure. Chance to pull away early here. Mashikian down the line, couldn't connect.
For anyone that's not familiar, this will be it's a best-of-5 match. So now this is a race to 15, not 25. Teams will switch sides at 8. Also worth noting, there are now only 1 challenge per team. So regardless of what they had used or had remaining, they get 1 each. Same rules apply. If they get it correct when they challenge, they keep it.
Excellent reminder, Nick. Use your timeouts and use your challenges both wisely here. Laying out for that one. Chapman is blocked back after the great effort by Arredondo to keep alive. Chapman again, and there you go. An NVA record, 30 kills for Felix Chapman. And he's not done yet, as we will see a substitution. Jan Sullivan for Chad Mercado.
This is an injury substitution, something not going right. I don't know if he banged
left
knees.
knee, it looked like. I'm sure Noah will find out what's going on. He knows all.
That he does, and what he doesn't know, he finds out quickly.
And in ace, I don't remember seeing Gomez get ace this entire season, but he committed a little bit early there, and you saw the outcome. Arredondo with the ace will make it a 5-4 game. Southern Exposure had a chance to pull away, And now the Tornadoes within one of evenness. From the knees, Pelletier. And Hubbard Neal is stuffed by Simon. Simon says we're tied.
Simon says, take it back.
5-5, 4 points in a row for the Dallas Tornadoes. Brand new ball game here in the Inland Empire.
Is your memory going, old man?
So we're back from the timeout. Let's see what's going on with Chad Mercado. Noah, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I just checked in with him, and he's not sure exactly what happened. He said his knee just got very, very tight, and he's trying to stretch it out right now. The trainer is on the way. But he did say, still a little bit lighthearted when I asked exactly what he think happened. He said, I was just trying to keep up with Felix Chapman and maybe jump too high.
Well, nobody can keep up with Felix Chapman right now, not even a Brandon Rattray.
No,
this rate.
This is the most impressive offensive display I can recall ever seeing.
Remember, this isn't club volleyball. This is not pro-am. This is pro volleyball. And Felix Chapman is single-handedly dismantling Southern Exposure. Southern Exposure is doing everything it can to hang around after 5 points in a row here for the Tornadoes. They finally side out again.
Yeah,
and
5-point run answer to a 5-1 deficit is brilliant in terms of a response. Exposure got to try to get it back opened up.
Vasquez, that cannot be collected by Uchenna Foha off of the net. So that kill by Vasquez will put Dallas back on top, 7-6. Remember, we will change sides once one team reaches 8.
Yeah, frequently you'll hear volleyball players talk about the race to 8 and an effort to switch on their side, on their terms.
Chapman to serve. Sullivan. Chapman's gonna pop this up for Sam Schuldenberg. Eddie will swing. Oh my God, Felix Chapman doing bad things.
There aren't words. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Switching sides here at 8-5. The team doing a fantastic job. Schuldenberg swinging nice on the outside, gives them a chance to see another swing. That's a triple block in front of the libero there that he punches that one through, gives them a chance, and a back set to Chapman there in transition on that pipe route. Brilliant execution. Dallas Tornadoes executing on one of the most glass cannon, single-handed game plans I've ever seen.
It's one thing to have a game plan that you're executing. And it's another thing to actually have a reality check. And there is not a reality way to stop Felix Chapman when he's on. But if you're Southern Exposure, you can do smart things such as that. Tyler Hubbard-Neal with the roll shot into open space. So that sends it to a Southern Exposure side out. They trail 8-7 now. John Sullivan will serve. Vasquez is going to float this over. Chance for Southern Exposure to tie. Hubbard-Neal swinging away, and he does, as that cannot be corralled by Francisco Arredondo. It's 8 apiece in game number 5. Get your refreshments ready. It's going to be a fun finish.
Again, set, just don't overthink it, set Felix. You got to go to him. Misconnection in the middle there feels bad. I'd rather have Felix miss.
I would rather live and die by Felix. They go to Simon, and Simon gets the results, however.
I'll put some salt on my words as I eat them. Ben Simon doing a nice job there, the lefty on the right side.
He's having a nice effort today. You know,
he really is.
Not somebody we've really ever talked much about, but.
And you can tell Simon's confidence has grown as this match has gone on. He was playing a bit timid maybe in those first 2 sets.
And not a high attack rate for him, but he's getting kills when they need him to keep him in this conversation. But Jan Sullivan with an answer here, 9-9 as we continue on. So the best match we've seen in the NVA this year, and perhaps of all time in the regular season, was during our Mother's Day event when the Texas Tyrants survived, and that's the only word that's appropriate. The Las Vegas Ramblers 24-22 in 5 sets on Felix Chapman. Come on, it's just not fair anymore. 32 kills. However, Southern Exposure will challenge, did this indeed catch the sideline or not?
There's not a lot of confidence here on this one. When you look at Pelletier's face, he said that was in. We'll see, but
I'm looking over to the Southern Exposure bench. John Andrews, finally a chance to say his name. He has not had a chance to debut today, but he's on the Southern Exposure roster for the first time. He wasn't sure whether it was in or out. Video will give us the answer, or maybe it'll be inconclusive.
We're getting some confirmation. We're having a little eye conversations across the board. Looking back at the stream on YouTube, looking like it's in there. Also talking to Machito Cosme, the libero for the Tornadoes. He's confidently saying that was in. So we're using all the resources we have since we can't yet quite see that stream for ourselves. I always talk about it, but part of the goal with the NVA production is that we will in fact be connecting that live so that you will be able to see it in real time.
And that was a very decisive, quick replay.
Yeah, now again, that means that Exposure no longer has any more challenges.
Risky decision there, but you know, if you're Southern Exposure at this point, you're just trying to find a way to stop Felix, and if that means using replay as an advantage, go for it. 10-9, Dallas 5 away from improving to 3-2 on the year, and sending Southern Exposure into a hole that they can still come back from, because they're chasing the Colorado Kraken are only a game in front, but you don't want to be in that spot. And this will draw Chike. I believe as Operum was the one who drew the contact on the attack by Eddie Mishikian, who will by default pick up the kill. So it's 10-10, game 5.
Sam Ladarquente coming in now once again as a serving substitution for Uchenna Ofoha.
Quinte at Naranito, Puerto Rico. They go to a perm, he's blocked back. Schuldenberg, nice job backpedaling to give his team a chance. Southern Exposure to take the lead. Mishikian, oh, one-handed dig by Cosme. And then Chapman, that's 33 kills, but that is all Machito. Victor Cosme with the wrong direction, one-handed dig to save the Tornadoes twister.
That was absolutely insane. That was as good as it gets. If you need a little bit of way to get through the 4-day week that's coming after Memorial Day and break up some of the monotony, look forward to Wednesday night to throw this match on and watch it back, because this is absolutely ridiculous.
And that was one play completely highlighting the Tornadoes' game plan coming into today.
Yes.
The other part of the game plan, Sam Schuldenberg, your server. His team up 1, and we're even again. Chan Sullivan comes through with some thunder.
Sullivan has been making minimal appearances on the court throughout the match, so he's not ice cold. However, coming in this late in the match and having an expectation to perform, he's doing that in leaps and bounds. The team needs it so desperately.
It's not about quantity, it's about quality, and he has brought that today. And how about an ace for the new guy, Mike Pelletier, with a timely one.
Acing the libero at 11 apiece.
12-11, Southern Exposure now leads. 3 away. Schuldenberg runs this one down. Why not go? They go to Chapman. Did Chapman get a touch? Here's the problem. If you're Southern Exposure, the officials say there was a touch on one side. Southern Exposure does not have a challenge to work with. They've already burned it. And this is where it may come back to hurt them.
Yep.
Because they cannot challenge what should have been likely the time to use that challenge. And it's a side out 12-12. That is now kill number 34 for Felix Chapman.
12-12.
Race to 3. Sullivan with the tip down the line. Perm sends it over. Another chance. Sullivan with a back pedal. Schuldenberg lays out. Here's Felix Chapman. Oh, leaving dents in chests.
Oh my God, Chike Opurum, the left-handed, one-handed up. Felix Chapman runs a back two inside the court. The connection, the trust, the Grandview duo getting it done.
And I believe that is kill 35.
I can't keep it together. I am really struggling right now. This is insane. 13-12. This is one of the most exciting matches. Every single one. 25-23, 26-24, 25-22. One game, 25-16. That was the only set decided by more than 3 points. And here we are, guaranteed to get a match that finishes by no less than 3 once again.
Nick, get a hold of yourself. We got more volleyball to play.
And if it wasn't apparent already, Mercado does not look like he's coming back into this game.
Yeah, but I mean, Jan Sullivan doing a fantastic job, so at least he was ready to answer the call.
Chike Opurum, his team up one, he serves, and there's a ball on the court. Where did it come from?
That came down the hallway from the other side of the gym from 2 teams warming up, and that feels criminal.
That's an answered prayer for one of the teams. They don't know which one would have gotten the point.
I've never seen that before.
I don't think we've ever had a ball on because it's an isolated court, except for that small.
The odds of that. Sullivan ties it up, 13-all.
The race to 2. It is now a win by 2 game, meaning that this will go until one team creates a 2-point lead. Minimum score, 15-13.
Everybody deserves to win this match. Only one team will, and here's Eddie Mishikian to try to put his team on top again. Schuldenberg with a good pass. Felix Chapman, dynamite!
Over the triple block. There is nothing that can be done. 36 kills for number 18. He's doubled the jersey number. This is just insanity. He's passed 70 swing attempts.
Felix Chapman with likely the greatest individual effort in any match in NVA history, and the Tornadoes serve for the match. Sullivan to try to preserve it. What a dig by Cosme. Here's Chapman to end it. Goes over the joust. Saved by Lurich. Reach out and stuff someone. The first block of the match for Chapman. His 37th point. Him and Simon end it. And the Dallas Tornadoes on an effort for the ages by Felix Chapman win game number 5, 15-13. And the Dallas Tornadoes are 3-3, and they send Southern Exposure to 1-4 on the year. Southern Exposure, what a heartbreaker, but man, oh man, Felix Chapman has an S on his chest. He was Superman today. 37 kills is the unofficial total at the table.
Yep.
Along with a block late, and I just don't have words anymore. 36 kills plus the blocks, so 37 total points. Effort for the ages.
I have been around since the inception of the NVA. I played in it previously. I've been around it on multiple teams. I can single-handedly, confidently say that is the single greatest performance by any player in the NVA since its inception. That will go down as the most ridiculous performance. He put the team on his back and just carried every single bit of that to a 5-set win. I am incredulous. 18 years of being around this sport, I have never seen on any level someone do that much damage. That was incredible.
When you're talking about faces of the league, you have Russell Holmes, you have Brandon Rattray, you have Jake Langlois, and there's obviously a number of other players we could throw in that conversation, but it would not be fair if we do not now insert Felix Chapman's name. That was the single greatest effort in NVA history, and
no
likely in American pro volleyball history. What we saw today from Felix Chapman. There's no doubt in the world that he is our man of the match, and he stands by with no chance to talk about his Superman heroics.
Absolutely no doubt, Ira. Felix, I mean, I don't even know what to say. What a performance. 37 kills, I believe. A season record, probably an NVA record. I mean, how the heck did you go out and put out that performance?
I mean, coming into this weekend, we know that we didn't have a lot of guys on the gym, so I didn't want to pressure myself. So I just came out there and do my best, have fun. That's something like I really enjoyed today. We have fun with the boys, and we got the W. So that was great, actually.
It certainly looked like you were having fun. It seemed like any time, no matter where the ball was, if it was set to you and you were going up and getting it. Just how explosive and dangerous did you feel today?
Well, I got to give you the credit to Francisco, my new setter. I think the boys did actually an amazing job in general, and everybody actually helped, so makes it easy for me too.
And your team game plan was definitely designed around you. Bring in the setter that you have chemistry with, add another libero to keep the passing there. What does it mean to see kind of your team build around you and plan for you?
Well, that's actually feel great because that gives me a lot of responsibility, and I like to take my job seriously, so I love it. Give me whatever you give me, and I will take it every day.
And then to end it with the block with you and Simon out there in the pin, how did that feel?
I feel great because I remember we lost last year on 5. We wanted to come back and give it to them too, so we got them back. So that was a good game for them, so I want to congratulate them and awesome game for both of the teams. So
you're clearly humble, clearly a team player, but I mean, probably the greatest individual performance we've seen in this league. What does it mean to know you put that out there?
Individual and personal too. I don't remember last time that I did something like this, so actually feels great. I wasn't even concerned about the point. I just want to win, so that's what I give out there. I give everything.
Well, you got the win. You gave it all. An absolutely incredible, phenomenal performance here by Felix Chapman. Wave to everyone. Let them know what you just did. Oh, my gosh. Nick, Ira.
Thanks, Noah. And Felix, there's sometimes you don't really need to be humble. I think that's the one time where you're allowed to put on the goat horns and enjoy the moment, because the Tornadoes, without Felix Chapman, likely get swept today. Felix Chapman finished, we have the official numbers, 36 kills on 75 attempts. Hit 48% for the day. My God, he just put up numbers we've never seen in this league, probably in professional volleyball in the United States. Finished plus 15 on the day. The Tornadoes won 2 of their 3 sets today by 2 points, 26-24, and then the last one, 15-13. I don't know how Felix has a swan song after this. How does he come back tomorrow when the Tornadoes take on the Seattle Sasquatch, where they likely will not need as Herculean an effort?
I don't know that he needs to. Like he said, it was very in the moment. Everyone plays their role, and I think not to be a disservice to the role players everywhere else. Arredondo coming in and doing a great job setting. Schuldenberg stepping in, hitting front row. You know, we saw Ben Simon off the bench getting it done. All of those names contributed so brilliantly, so not to overshadow the story that was told. Chike Oporum doing it all through cramps, just back row efforts, block touches. You know, we see Vasquez being a dynamic, shorter middle, stepping in and doing what the team needs. But at the end of the day, Felix Chapman, this is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen, that anyone's ever seen. You can't say it enough. We've said it here, but this was just ridiculous. A well-earned win.
It was a pleasure to be in this seat today, to see this firsthand with you and call this match. And got to give some credit to Francisco Arredondo. Had a shaky start, and part of that might have been just an adjustment to playing in the NVA. This was his debut today. But third set on, he kind of turned on a different set of engines for him. And obviously, I think Felix Chapman can put up those kind of numbers as long as he has a connection with any setter. I think, however, as Arredondo got more comfortable out there, that familiarity with Felix certainly allowed this magnificent statistical effort to happen today, something we have never seen before. And the Dallas Tornadoes improved to 3-3 in the year. It's not over yet for Southern Exposure. They fall to 1-4. They will have a shot at the Colorado Kraken coming up at some point, I believe. If
Kraken plays.
Is that event 4?
I'm not sure when they play.
Take a look at the schedule. But if the Kraken are unable to pick up another win along the way, and Southern Exposure is able to, right the ship from this moment and maybe use this as a catalyst for the rest of the year, that's who they're probably fighting with now for that second playoff spot as this season progresses. They have, after this, 5 more matches in the regular season. But this is one Southern Exposure will rue that they were not able to pull out as they fall today. Our final score one more time in 5 sets. The Dallas Tornadoes victorious 23-25, 26-24, 22-25, and then 25-16 and 15-13 behind 36 kills, an NVA all-time record from Felix Chapman. The Tornadoes victorious, and Southern Exposure with the loss. They fall to 1-4 on the year. One more match coming up today, and this will be one where, well, somebody's got to win. The Seattle Sasquatch come in at 0-4 in the year. They have not forced a 5th set this year, so they come in without a point. The Chicago Untouchables have gone to 5 3 times. They haven't won any of them, and they look to get in the win column today for the first time. That comes up at 6 p.m. Pacific here at the Pierce Sports Center. For our entire crew and our sideline reporter, Noah Chast, and my man right here, Nick England, I'm Ira Thor. Thank you for tuning in for an incredible match as the Dallas Tornadoes survive behind Felix Chapman and his heroics. More to come. 6 p.m. Be back for more.